Mindful Life Practice.
Okay, so we're going to start our practice today. We're going to switch it up just a little bit. I always start this class in a child's pose. Today I was like, I feel like I should do something a bit different. So let's come onto our back. Okay, so resting on your yoga mat, lying your back down. You can bring your soles of feet together and let your knees come apart. And if you want to support your knees with blocks or pillows or whatever, go ahead. And then you can rest your hands on your navel. And then turn your attention towards your breath. I see someone coming in now, taking deep inhales and exhales. There's Nadia. So in the Western world, in the modern world, we've kind of come to associate the word yoga with the asanas, the physical postures. What the term yoga actually means is union. The practice of yoga is to come into unity with ourselves, with our breath, with our souls, come into unity with each other, come into unity with this earth that we are part of. You know, where does nature end and where do we begin? There's this mantra we chanted on one of my yoga teacher trainings when I was in Bali. The mantra is So Hum. And what So Hum means is connecting and being one with nature. It's where we came from and it's where we're going. So we're going to move through a practice today revolving around this intention. And it's up to you to kind of define what that intention means. Maybe I am in union with my breath. Maybe I'm feeling connection to others. I'm feeling a connection to nature. There's no right or wrong, just make it meaningful to you. And our Foundations Flow practice is going to be simple. It's going to be easy, hopefully. Breaking down the basics of postures and doing a little bit of a gentle movement in those postures. The intention being to establish a bit of connection. Make sure my video is on spotlight. There we go. So draw your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a little bit of a hug. Rock your knees from side to side. Feel that nice, gentle massage along your low back. And then let's keep our right knee into our chest. So switch your palms interlaced on your right knee only and lengthen your left leg out along the mat. So this posture is called Apanasana. Wind relief pose. And it has that name because it serves that purpose. If you're ever feeling like your digestion is off or, you know, your tummy isn't feeling good, this is a pose that's recommended to make you feel a bit better. I remember when I was 22 and I had just gotten back from my yoga teacher training and I was like living in a house of, you know, 5 of us girls at Queen's University, party animals. And when my friends were feeling sick, I would be like instructing them to get on the floor and do this. They loved it. Remember one of my housemates saying it actually did the trick for her. Let's just stay breathing into this for one more breath. And then what you're gonna do is just glide your right knee over to the right a little bit. So you're opening up a tiny bit. And then let go of the shin. So lift your sole of feet so that it's pressing towards the sky. And then you can take your peace fingers around your right big toe. If you can reach there, if you don't have hip flexibility, you could just grab onto the ankle or the shin. And basically you're taking the knee out to the side. And the intention here is to like get into the groin, get into the hip crease. It's a half happy baby. And if this is feeling especially tight, you can also bend the left knee and lay on the left foot. It doesn't need to be straight. Take 2 more breaths. And then just grab hold of the right knee and you're gonna draw the right knee across the body now, coming into a spinal twist. So in your spinal twist, I want you to have both shoulders on the mat because that's gonna allow this twist to start at the sacrum and move all the way up along the spine towards the cervical spine. If your shoulder is lifted, you're not getting this twist through the upper back, which is a part of the body where we need it. We need the twist to release. So if you're feeling like your shoulder is lifting, I want you to bend your bottom knee, bend your left knee, and stack both knees gently. Same pose, just a different variation. For those of you that are on like day 37 of the yoga challenge, you might be okay with the bottom leg straight still. Every single body is different. And then take 1 more breath. And then let's come all the way up and we're gonna move through that same 3 pose series on the opposite side. So interlace your palm on the left shin, lengthen your right leg long, and then just kind of get into this pose. You know, I think as a yoga teacher, I sometimes overlook these poses. Like this one, I can't tell you the last time I've taught this in a class. It seems really simple to me. I guess that's why. Maybe I'm like, oh, it's too simple to be a pose in its own right. But sometimes these simple, subtle movements can really like hit the right spot and release tension in a certain way. So I guess that's something I'm learning to not gloss over the poses that seem small and subtle, because sometimes those poses can hold a lot of meaning and a great experience for us. Let's just gently pull the left knee over to the left now, and then lift your left foot up and land your left palm on the ankle, on the shin. Maybe you take the big toe. Just kind of get into the hip crease. Take one more round of breath. And now let's just gently glide the left knee all across the body over towards the right, dropping into your spinal twist and modifying in any manner, in any way that you need. Take 3 more breaths. And then come all the way back through center, knees into the chest. Let's do one last pose on our spine. So place your feet on the mat, place your palms on the mat, lift your hips up, bring your body into a really gentle bridge. And then if you want, you can roll the shoulder blades under, interlacing the palms, pinky side face down. Just kind of breathing your body into this stretch. Nice. Take one more inhale. Take one more exhale. And then just release your palms. Slowly lower each and every vertebrae one at a time onto the mat. Take your palms onto the backs of the thighs, and we're going to rock our way up. Rock all the way over. And then land the knees and sit back into a child's pose. I love child's pose. I find this shape very physically grounding. Can feel like you're in like a fetal position. This summer, when I was back in Canada, I became like really obsessed with, well, I did my bar certification. I was going to do bar classes every single day. I had a personal trainer at the gym, so I was just always like lifting weights. And I created very little space in my life for my yoga practice because I just had so many other things going on. Anyway, whenever I showed up for yoga, at the beginning of the class, when everyone was, resting in shavasana or in a seated meditation or whatever, I always came back to child's pose. And at the end of the class, when the teacher cued shavasana, I always did child's pose instead. And I think the reason why is because it has a deep connection for me with like coming home to yourself, coming home to your body. It's like you shut out everything else that's happening in the world, you curl inward. It's almost like, a turtle sticks its head inside its shell. That's how I feel in this pose. So know that you can come home again to this pose at any point. It's here for you, it's available. We're gonna make our practice nice and gentle today, I'm in the mood. So on your breath in, you're gonna come all the way up into a table. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. And then let's start by just moving through some cat-cows. Okay, so inhaling cow, exhaling cat. Keep going like that, stay where you are. I'm just gonna turn on some lights in here because the sun is setting. And I found that at this time, if I don't turn on the lights, it gets kind of dark. For you guys, there you go. Yeah, you got it. So keep moving your cat-cows, and then if you want to turn them into like any other kind of movements based on what your intuitive body is telling you, like maybe you C-curve to the side, and maybe you add some like rotations front and back. Just let this be your own. And then let's take one more round of breath. And then arrive back in a down, not a down dog, a table. Walk your palms forward. And then bring your body into what's called a puppy pose. So your heart comes down towards the mat. You're either resting on your forehead or your chin. And then just take a few deep breaths as your heart is opening. Take one more inhale and one more exhale. And then walk your hands all the way back up, and then let's take a little bit of a shoulder opening twist, okay? So take your left arm up towards the sky, deep breath in. And then thread your left arm underneath the right, landing onto your left cheek and left shoulder. And then you choose, maybe you lift the right arm up, maybe you wrap it around the body. Just take a few deep breaths. And then slowly make your way up. And then let's move the opposite way. So right palm lifts up towards the sky. And then thread your right arm under, landing onto the right cheek and the right shoulder blade. And then come all the way up. All right, so let's extend your left leg long behind you. So your left leg is level, or sorry, left hip is level with the right. And then if you want to lift the opposite arm, go ahead. And then instead of doing crunches today, we're gonna open the right arm to the right and the left arm to the left. So just playing with your core stability and balance, and then bring it back to center. And can you do that 3 more times, opening up very, very slowly and closing in. And feel what your spine is doing. If you're moving into a back bend, I want you to try and flatten your back slightly so your core is engaged. And then just take one more. And then come all the way back, land your right palm on the mat, turn your right toes off the side of the mat, land or stack the left hip on the right, and then take your left arm up towards the sky. So this is a bit like a half moon, but you're on the knee. And then we're gonna lift all the way to upright and just land your left foot behind you. So now you're in a bit of a warrior 2. And you're pressing down through the left outer edge of the foot. And then we're gonna move into gate pose. So it's like a reversed warrior. Your left hand is back on the left leg. Your right arm reaches up towards the sky. You're getting a nice stretch for the right side body. And then you're gonna come all the way back down, land both palms, turn your toes so that they're back on your mat. Tuck your right toes and lift your leg all the way up. So your left leg is extending behind you, your right foot is grounded. And then bend through your left knee and then just take some gentle hip circles. Opening up through the hip crease. And then let's land the left foot back down. And then bend through the knees and find your way back into a table. I forgot to mention, if your knees are sore doing this, you can always cushion with a blanket. And then let's take the opposite side. So you're gonna extend your right leg, try to level your right hip with your left. And then if you're feeling up for it, lift your left arm. And then we'll just play with opening and then closing. Do 3 more just like this, open. And then close. 2 more. And then 1 more. And then land your left palm, take your left toes off the mat, lift all the way up. So this is your kind of half moon variation. And then you're gonna land your right foot, lift all the way up. So you're in this like warrior 2, but on the knee. And then reverse your warrior. Take your left arm back, land your right palm on your right leg, lateral side bend. And then rotate all the way back up, plant the palms. Let's tuck the left toes, lift all the way up, finding yourself into a 3-legged dog, and then make some nice sweet circles with your right knee. And then land your right foot, gaze forward, bend the knees, walk your feet up to meet your hands, bend the knees a lot, and then find a forward fold. So palms, grip opposite elbows, let your head and neck dangle, let go. Take some deep inhales and exhales. And then release your palms. Take your inhale to halfway lift, lengthen through your spine, reach through the crown of your head. Exhale back into a fold. And then press through both feet. Inhale, circle your palms all the way up to stand. And then take your palms into heart center. Connect your thumbs to your heartbeat. Union with the self. Inhale, sweep both palms up towards the sky, upward mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, lower down. Keep your right foot where it is. Step your left foot back. Let's wriggle, rock back and forth, getting into the hip crease. And then land onto your left knee. Take your right palm to the inside of the right foot. Walk your right foot wide. And we'll just come into a nice little lizard pose. So you could open your right knee to the side. Maybe if you have space in your hips coming down onto your elbows, if you're a beginner, maybe not. Let your head just let go. Breathe your body. And then lift all the way to upright. Keep your left palm where it is. Take your right arm up towards the sky. And then maybe you're here. Maybe you send the left palm back on the sacrum to deepen your twist a little bit. Maybe you kick the heel back and go for a quad stretch. You do what feels good. And then release your foot. Take your right palm back. You're gonna walk your right foot now to the center of the mat. And then let's walk the palms back and lengthen over the right leg. And then take some deep breaths in through the nose. And then exhale, hinge forward. 2 more breaths. And then 1 more breath. And then walk your palms forward. Step your right knee back so your knees are coming onto the mat. You're taking your body forward a little bit, so you're in a low plank. And let's just stay in this low plank for 3 breaths. If you want to tuck your toes, if you want to lift the knees up, be my guest. I do not want to. This is enough core for me right now. And then slowly lower all the way down, elbows drawing back. And then let's take our palms, so our elbows underneath our shoulders. And then lift our heart up and bring yourself into a sphinx. Just soften and settle your gaze on a drishti point in front of you. And then take the palms underneath the shoulders, lift all the way up into a table. Tuck the toes, lift up and back to your down dog. And then bend through the knees, gaze forward, and then just step the feet up to meet the hands. And take an inhale to halfway lift. And then take an exhale, fold. And then inhale, sweep all the way up, circle your palms, take your palms into heart center. Let's take that gentle little flow on the opposite side. Inhale your palms up towards the sky, upward mountain. Exhale, forward fold, let go. Breathe your body, halfway lift. Exhale to empty. Step your right foot back. Get a little bit of motion and rocks into the hips. Saying hello. And then land your right knee. Let's take the left palm to the inside of the left foot, walk your left foot wide, and then get into the hip crease. And maybe you come onto the elbows, lizard. By the way, being on the elbows is definitely not a beginner's variation. So if you can't do it, don't judge yourself. And then come all the way up. Leave your right palm where it is. Take your left palm up towards the sky. And then spiral it back, finding your variation of your twist. Maybe you're into the quads, maybe you're not. And then release the right foot. Let's come back to center. Take your left foot to the center of the mat. Walk your palms back, get that nice stretch through the left thigh, taking an inhale. And then an exhale. Inhale. And then exhale. One more inhale. One more exhale. And then walk the palms forward, maybe stepping the left knee back to find the right. Slowly lowering all the way down towards the mat. And then this time we'll take the fingertips off the sides of the mat, elbows lifting up. Breathe in, lift your heart, find yourself into this kind of cobra thing. And then exhale to lower. Let's push the palms onto the ground, lift your way up to a table. Find yourself up to a down dog. Then through the knees, gaze forward, and then step your feet up to meet your hands. Take an inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And then inhale, sweep your palms all the way up, big circle. And then take your palms into heart center, thumbs onto the heartbeat. So we're gonna start off with a balancing pose today. Usually I end with balancing at the end of the flow, but I just feel like mixing it up. So we're gonna do our Vrikshasana, our tree. You're gonna leave your left foot grounded, lift onto your right tippy toes, open your knee to the side, land your right foot somewhere on the inside of the left leg, like on the shin, or maybe all the way up on the thigh. Just be mindful not to put it on the knee. You don't want to push the knee in the wrong direction. And you can rest your palms at heart center if you want. Sometimes that helps me. kind of center in. Just watching my cat. She's over there. She's awake. Take one more breath. And then land your right foot and let's switch the opposite way. So right foot stays grounded. Open up your knee. Land your left foot on the inside of the right leg. Posted on Instagram about my cat, Princess. She's actually not my official cat. I don't know if you guys knew that. She's my foster cat that I temporarily took in about 2 months ago. I posted a video of her this morning on Instagram, or maybe last night. I think everyone knows that she's never going back to the foster agency. She's my cat now. Let's take one more breath in this tree. And then just land your left foot. You're at the front of the mat now. Feel the difference of having both feet grounded, supporting you, steady, stable. And then let's just take a breath in, sweep your palms skyward. Exhale, fold. Take an inhale, halfway lift. Exhale your way back down. Make your way back to your down dog. If you want to take a vinyasa, go ahead. So in this class, we have been, I've been teaching the postures in 2 separate segments. I've taught the closed hip and the open hip separately. Today, we're gonna progress a little bit. So we're gonna link all these poses into one flow on one side. Okay, so we'll do like 6 on one side and then we'll switch. So start first with your right leg up. Draw your right knee in, step your right foot between your palms, land onto your left heel at a 45-degree angle, and inhale your palms up towards the sky. So this is your Vira 1, your Warrior 1. See if you can find the middle between effort and ease. Finding the middle between strength and surrender. Take a breath in. And then as you exhale, take your palms into your heart center. And then shift your way forward, finding yourself into a Virabhadrasana 3. So Warrior 3. Take one more round of breath. And then bend through your right knee as you step your left foot all the way back and bring yourself into a Warrior 2. So your right palm is forward, your left palm is back. Right toes are pointing forward. Take a moment to curl up your shoulders and then soften them down and settle your gaze over the fingertips. And then if you want to stay still, that's your mood today, go for it. And if you want to invite in a little bit of movement with your breath, I'm going to move inhaling, reversing my warrior, and then exhaling up to the Warrior 2. And I'm going to do this 3 more times. Breath in, and then breath out. 2 more, breath in, and then breath out. And then 1 more inhale. And then 1 more exhale. Lengthen through your right leg. Take your left foot in a tiny bit. Hinge forward. And then take your right arm alongside your right leg. So this is your triangle, your Trikonasana. And then I'm going to give you 1 more option. You can stay in this triangle, or you might shift weight onto your right foot and your right fingertips and lift your left leg to stack. And take a few deep breaths. Inhale. And then exhale. 2 more, inhale. Exhale. 1 more breath in. 1 more breath out. And then just slowly bring your hip to close and land your left foot alongside your right. And then grip your palms to opposite elbows, bend the knees a lot, and dangle. So that was our short sequence on one side, and now we'll move through it on the opposite side. When you're ready, releasing your grip, inhaling half lift. Exhale, fold. Make your way back to a down dog. Maybe taking a vinyasa. And then we're gonna take the opposite side. Okay, so left leg lifts. Draw your left knee in, step your left foot between the palms. Land onto your right heel. Lift all the way up into a warrior one if you're a Vajrasana one. Find the middle. And as the body finds the middle, the mind finds the moment. See if there's any wisdom in the middle. Any wisdom in the present moment. Take your palms into your heart center and use this action to draw energy inward. And then shift weight onto your left foot as you lift your right foot up. Find an extension and expansion and take 3 deep breaths. And then bend through the left knee, step all the way back. Finding yourself into your warrior two, so your hips are open to the side. And then you choose, you stay still or you flow. Inhale, reverse. And then exhale up to the warrior two. Taking 3 more flows with your breath. 2 more. And then 1 more. Lengthen through your left leg. Walk your right foot in. Hinge forward. Left arm alongside left leg. Right arm reaches up towards the sky. And now your choice, if you want to lift up, finding your half moon. And then slowly just step your right foot all the way to meet the left. And then grip your palms to opposite elbows, forward fold. So I think today, instead of doing thread the needle, we're gonna take a full pigeon pose. The reason why is that I'm looking at the screen and I think almost all of you are not beginners. And my dad isn't here today, and he's usually the one who I'm trying to modify for in these tight hip poses because his hips are pretty tight. I think all of you guys can take a full pigeon, or if you can't, I think you all know how to do the thread the needle to modify. I'll show you just in case, okay? So let's take a breath in, half lift. Take a breath out, fold, plant your palms, step back to your down dog. And then to take your full pigeon, we're gonna take our right leg up towards the sky. Draw your right knee in, lay your right shin across the width of the mat. Wiggle your left knee back. And then take a breath in. And then exhale, fold forward. Okay, so if right away your knee is like screaming in pain, if you're too high up, like you're not sinking into this shape because your hips are tight, I'm just gonna show you thread the needle, but I think most of you guys are okay here. But this is your thread the needle, right ankle on top of left thigh. Palms can be either on the left thigh or the left shin. And then just kind of get into the hip crease. Nice job. Take one more breath. And then come onto the palms. Come all the way back into a table. Just kind of stretch out or let go of that in whatever way makes sense. And then we'll take it the opposite way, okay? So up into a down dog. Lift your left leg. Draw your left knee in, lay your left shin across the width of the mat. Here comes my teaching assistant. I don't know if you guys can see her there. There she is. Hello, princess. Coming all the way down. So I'll tell you the story of how I got this cat. Some of you guys have been with the Mindful Life practice from the beginning, and you know. I was really struggling when quarantine started. That's actually why I started the Mindful Life practice, just to connect with people. And I used to hate cats. I had a crazy cat when I was a teenager, Atticus. And so I really didn't like cats. And Sarah, who some of you guys have met, not Sarah Jawad, who's here, but Sarah Abbotsford, she came on one day and she's always been trying to convince me to foster cats because she fosters cats. And I told her I was struggling in the quarantine and she said, why don't you get a cat? So let's take one more breath in this pigeon. And then we're gonna just roll up onto the left hip. Take the left knee all the way across, or right knee all the way across. I'm gonna face you guys so you can see me. We're just gonna do a little bit of forward folding seated. Okay, so you can lengthen your right leg out. Take your left sole of foot to the inside of the left leg. And then take a breath in with your arms reaching up overhead. And then exhale to fold. So anyway, Sarah was like, you should get a cat. And I was like, yeah. So she sent me the Instagram of a foster agency. And I looked at their Instagram stories and I saw all the cats that needed homes. And the one that stuck out to me was Princess. And this is a foster agency in Dubai. So I sent them a message saying, does Princess still need a home? And they said, yeah, but the one problem is like she's all the way in Abu Dhabi and we need someone to go pick her up. As you guys know, I live in Abu Dhabi. And that's when I knew. I was like, this is my cat. And so I went to meet her and I liked her, but I still didn't want to commit to a cat. And then 3 days later, there were rumors flying around the city that we were about to go into lockdown, starting at 8 p.m. that night. And no one knew what was happening. No one knew what the rules were going to be around it. Let's take one more breath in this forward fold. And then we're going to switch to the opposite side. But I remember getting this text message saying, breath in, arms up, and then exhale, fold. It was a text message into our group chat saying, Abu Dhabi's going to go on lockdown at 8 p.m. tonight. And Jillian probably remembers because she's in the chat. I responded in caps locks, I need the cat. And at that point, I didn't even have a litter box. I didn't have cat food. I didn't even have a carrier. And anyway, I got the cat. And I have to say, if you're struggling with like loneliness in quarantine, I highly recommend fostering a pet. She has helped me so much. And I mean, if it's not possible for you to foster a pet, also like all the teachers on the Mindful Life practice, or a lot of them, have pets that really like to disrupt their classes. So I'm sure you get your pet fix then. Let's take one more breath in this forward fold. And then roll all the way up. Take your feet in. And then we're just going to slowly roll our way back down. Let's take one more back bend and then one little spinal twist. Okay? So just the same bridge that we did at the start of the class. Pressing through your palms, pressing through your feet, lifting your hips up, rolling your shoulder blades under, tucking the chin, and then just taking deep breaths. And then slowly release your grip. Slowly lower each and every vertebrae one at a time. Take your knees into your chest. Give yourself a tight squeeze. And then open your arms and drop your knees over to the left and drop your gaze over to the right. So just in this final pose as we settle in for our rest, maybe taking a moment to acknowledge the fact that you showed up, right? You made it here. You made this practice a priority. You made your well-being a priority. So just thank yourself for that. And then take your knees all the way back through center and drop your knees over to the right. And then drop your gaze over to the left. And then come all the way back through center. If there's any last postures that would seal your practice, feel free to take them. I'm going to make my way up to a seated meditation. You're welcome to come straight into Shavasana. Just choosing a shape where you can settle into stillness. Let this posture be your rest. Know that I will bring you back when the time is up. like a feather blowing through the breeze, like a bird in a tree, like a dolphin in the sea. I wanna fly high, so high, like an eagle in the sky. And when my time has come, I will let it all go with a sigh. Pachamama, coming home to the place where I belong. Pachamama, coming home to the place where I belong. I wanna be free, be me, be the only being that I see. Not to rise and not to fall, be at one with love and home. There's no high, no low, there is nowhere else to go. Inside within your heart, and be just who you are. Pachamama, coming home, home to the place where I belong. Pachamama, coming home to the place where I belong. Just give your fingers and your toes a little wiggle. Run a nice long stretch, fingers all the way through toes. Take your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little hug. In this hug, I just want to share with you a passage from my favorite book, Meditations from the Mat. Rolf says, we heal by degrees. We will have bad days and good days in our yoga practice as in our life. Sometimes the progress of yesterday seems to have evaporated today, but yet there is always movement, right? As long as we show up and we do the work, the healing is going to happen. Come all the way up to a seated pose. By the way, this book that I always reference, my friend Emily, you've probably met her in some of the classes. She's a teacher librarian in Kuwait. She's going to be leading our first book club, and our first book is going to be this book. So I know Yasser already has this book and he already basically has it memorized. But if you don't have it yet and you're interested in joining, info is going to come out about that in the newsletter tonight. Let's connect to each other, connect to our bodies and our breath and our spirit with an Om sound. And if you want to join, we're going to inhale and then exhale, and then inhale through to make an Om. Okay, so breath in, breath out, breath in, Thank you for sharing the space and the practice this morning or afternoon, wherever you are on this planet. May we all be happy and healthy and free. May the thoughts and actions of each of our lives contribute towards this. Om Shanti Shanti, peace, namaste.
The Mindful Life Practice.